Hello, fellow book readers. My name is John, and today I would like to do the mid-year book freakout tag that everybody else seems to be doing on YouTube. Uh, so let's start with how much I've read this year. I have read 71 books already, and that is, I feel like, a crap ton. I don't know how I read 71, but I have. and I have some stats for you. Of those 71 books, my average star rating is a 3.5. So on the whole, I would say it's been a very good year of reading. Because 3.5 for me means very good. So I've read mostly fantasy on the year. There's been some subgenres of fantasy, but all in all, almost every book I've read has been fantasy. There's been, I think, one nonfiction book that wasn't fantasy. So the first question in this tag is best book of 2025. What was the best book I've read in 2025? That one for me. So I've rated 7 books, 5 stars this year. So I have about an average of once every 10 books giving a book 5 stars on the year. And for me, the best book of those 5 star books that I've read, at least my favorite, was Knife of Dreams by Robert Jordan, which is the 11th book in the Wheel of Time saga. Um, I loved this book. Almost everything about it I thought was really good. He set up the end really, really well in this book. And the stuff that happens in this book is just awesome. It has some of my favorite chapters. It has Honey in the Tea, which is the Egwene chapter where she's stuck in the White Tower and she finds power through pain. Really good theming there. Uh, let's see, I think it's called the Golden Crane, where Nynaeve, I should say, is going through um, the borderlands, like telling people to raise the Golden Crane for land. The really powerful chapter. Uh, Rand goes through a traumatic injury in this book. There's just so much good stuff in this book. Oh, here you get the wrap up to the Perrin Shadow arc with Fael that has been building for 3 books. They finally wrap it up, and they wrap it up in a really satisfying way. Elaine finally becomes Queen of Andor in this book. There's so much good stuff happens in this book. This book is jam packed, and it's not like it's big, but it's not like that big. It's not big enough where you would expect that much to happen. This book is amazing. I think it's the best Wheel of Time book by far, and it's one of my favorite books I've ever read. So, yeah, easily the best book of 2025 for me. Not easily, because there was one that's really close, but we'll get to it. This was still really good, though. I mean, not really good. This was still perfect. Okay, the next question is, what is the best sequel you read in 2025? For me, you could call Knife of Dreams a sequel if you want, but it is. But we're going to go with something different here. We're going to go with my second favorite book of the year, Words of Radiance, which is the second book in the Stormlight Archive, and really a direct follow up to Way of Kings. And this book is just Way of Kings on steroids. The book is it's perfect. The end with Kaladin versus the the assassin dressed in white, is just amazing. Um, you got Shallan's flashback chapters in this book, and Shallan is my favorite Stormlight Archive character, and I thought those flashback chapters ruled. They're my favorite flashback chapters in this series. Uh, yeah, they were awesome. You have Dalinar dealing with like the fallout of book 1, which is really good. You really got like sort of like when Kaladin like finds his radiant power at the end of this. It's just really, really strong and powerful stuff. This book is awesome from front to back, and it's a really big book. From front to back, this book is amazing. It's perfect. It's a 5 star book every time. It's considered the best Stormlight book by most people, and it's one of the highest rated books on Goodreads for a reason. This book rules. Yeah, definitely the best sequel I've read in 2025. Okay, next question. What is a new release that I want to read that I haven't read yet? For me, that would be the new Hunger Games book, Sunrise and Reaping. I really do want to read that book. Everything I hear about that book says it's great. Some people even say it's the best Hunger Games book. I'm really looking forward to reading it. I just haven't been in a Hunger Games mood, so I don't know when I'm going to get to it. Sometime in the second half, probably. I'm looking forward to it, for sure. It also has a great cover. I love that cover. Okay, next question. What is the what is the release you're most excited for in the second half of 2025? And the real answer to this question is none. There are no releases in the second half of 2025 that I'm excited for. So instead, I'm going to answer sort of a different question. What is the book I am most looking forward to reading in the second half of 2025? And there's 2 books. First book is Salem's Lot by Stephen King. I had that planned for fall 2025 since last year. I read Dracula last year by Bram Stoker, and I was like, oh, I want to read like another vampire book. And I was like, what do I pick here? And I landed on Salem's Lot, but I was like, I'll read it next year. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. So almost universally loved. I don't know if it's the best Stephen King book, but almost everybody that reads it loves it. I heard it's really scary too. I'm very, very, very much looking forward to reading Salem's Lot. And I've never read a Stephen King book front to back. I've read a couple Stephen King short stories before that I've really loved, but I've never read an actual novel by him. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then another book, another series that I'm looking forward to starting is The Witcher. Yeah, I'm definitely going to at least start that in the second half of 2025, and I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, those are two books or book series that I'm really looking forward to reading in 2025. They're not new releases, but they are something I'm looking forward to reading in the second half. Okay, next question. What was the biggest disappointment of 2025 so far, book-wise? For me, this is an easy question. I'm going to give my most disappointing book, then I'll give my runner-ups or my honorable mentions. But The Magicians by Lev Grossman, easily my most disappointing read of 2025 so far. I had high hopes for this book. I love a good magic story. I love a good like academia story, and I thought this book was supposed to fit both those roles, and it really didn't. The academia part is very, very bad in my opinion. Like you basically don't learn anything in that school about the magic, and they go through 4 years in like 200 pages. So you're just skimming stuff. It's mostly teen drama and angst, and the main character Quentin is a lot like Holden Caulfield from Catcher in the Rye. And I love Catcher in the Rye. It's one of my favorite books of all time. But like I said in another video, I really don't want Holden Caulfield in my fantasy. And yeah, he's basically the main character of this book. Not basically, he is the main character of this book. Quentin, who is like Holden Caulfield. Yeah, and you just don't learn enough about the magic to like really make the academia part worth it. You basically don't learn about the magic at all. Like I said, it's really like a teen angst, teen drama type of fantasy story. And yeah, and then in the end, it turns into a portal fantasy. It turns into like a sort of homage to Chronicles of Narnia or the Phantom Toll Booth. And it's fine. That's the most fun part of the book, the fillery stuff, which is the world they find a portal to. But I don't think it's very good either. Like it's just fine. And like I said, the academia stuff, I actively hate it. So yeah, this is the only book I gave 1 star to in the entire year, and by far my biggest disappointment. I was really looking forward to the series. I just did not enjoy it. And I'll give you 2 others that I was disappointed with, but I still thought they were good books. Okay, Memory of Light by Brandon Sanderson and Robert Jordan. I was really disappointed by this book. Yeah, I was expecting great stuff. I was expecting a 5-star masterpiece after the way Robert Jordan set up the end of Wheel of Time, Knife of Dreams, and I just thought this book did not deliver on a lot of those promises that Robert Jordan set up. I think Egwene's death is really bad. It's like a really bad decision. I don't think she was supposed to die. Nothing in Robert Jordan's works foreshadows her dying, and it leaves the White Tower kind of crippled at the end. And there was other stuff in this book, like the Horn plot line doesn't really make any sense at all, and Logain doesn't really do anything, even though he was promised to do something by Min. The pacing in this book is kind of breakneck. Now, I'm saying a lot of the bad stuff, but there's a ton of positives in this book too. There's tons of great scenes. You got like the Rand Egwene like argument scene. You got the Rand 2-on negotiation. You got the Egwene 2-on negotiation. You got Demon Dread. His like 3 different fights are amazing. The twist of how Rand survives is like really, really good. The epilogue is expertly written. I think the Andro Pavera Black Tower plot is really good. There's so much good stuff in this book. It's still a good book, but I was expecting it to be a great or perfect book. And to me, it only reaches like the 3-star range. It's one of my least favorite Wheel Time books. And then we got, I feel really bad doing this because this is 2 Brandon Sanderson books. We got Wind and Truth. This one has some really good scenes too. Like I said, it's a good book. I really love the still Paladin like dance scene. I think that scene was awesome. One of my favorites in the series. I really loved when Shallan meets her mother again. a really great scene. There's some awesome scenes in this book. I think the Adeline fight scenes, I forget the name of the town. It's like really, really good. But yeah, I was expecting more from the ending, and I just didn't get it. Like this book did not feel like the end of an arc. It felt more like the end of a season. It felt like more like the end of a season of a television show more than like the end of an arc, which was what it was billed as, in my opinion. So I was a little disappointed by that. And there were also, some other stuff that I just didn't find great, like the assassin in white. Like his story was just whatever. It was fine. It wasn't anything amazing. Some of the humor did not land with me in this book, which I heard Sanderson wrote intentionally. Like he knew that this book was going to be very different. So, and it was, and I think it's just a way too long too. Like I think you could have easily cut off like 200 pages of this book. So for me, this book's only good. It's another 3-star book for me. Yeah, another disappointment, but like I said, they're still good books. So the real disappointment is The Magicians by Lev Grossman. But these are two honorable mentions that I really had to bring up. Okay, the next question is, what is the book that surprised me the most in 2025? Yeah, this is another easy one for me. It's easily 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. I got this. I got the Inheritance trilogy in like a sort of an put together pack, I guess. I don't know what you call it, or like an anthology. Like all 3 books plus the novella is in this. So yeah, but the 100,000 Kingdoms is the first book in the Inheritance trilogy, and I know how great N.K. Jemisin is, right? But I never hear this trilogy talked about ever. Like all I ever hear about is the 5th season. That is it. Always hear about the 5th season. You never hear about 100,000 Kingdoms or the Inheritance trilogy. And when I saw on Goodreads, I saw it was like ranked in the 3 point something range. So I was like, okay, this book will probably just be good, not great, but I really want to read it because this is more like an epic fantasy. From what I understand, this is supposed to be more like an epic fantasy than like 5th season is. And I, big epic fantasy guy. So really wanted to read this one. I was like, I'm going to read an N.K. Jemisin book. I'll try this one. But I didn't have like high expectations going in because you never hear about this series and the ratings for it are not like amazing. I was blown away. 100,000 Kingdoms is so good. The first book, oh my god, it's near perfect. Like I think I give it 4.5 stars. Awesome book. I loved it. I might have even given it 5 stars. I think I did end up giving it 5 stars. Yeah, this book ruled. The world building in this is otherworldly. It's just so good. The characters are great. The plot is amazing. The twist at the end is really, really good. And her writing, like her prose, and I'm not like a big prose guy where it's like prose has to be amazing for me to read a book. No, I'm not like that at all. But her prose is really, really beautiful. So yeah, this book blew me away. 100,000 Kingdoms. I wish it was talked about more because I think it's really, really good. It's also her first published book. But I'll give an honorable mention as well because it's another book that I was just looking to read, like a shorter novella length book, and I knew it would be good. I 100% knew it would be good, but I was not expecting for it to have as emotional impact on me as it did. That is The Little Prince. That book ruled. That book rules, and it's a book for children, but it's like you should read it as an adult. The theming of love in it is like really powerful. The Little Prince himself is like a character you want to root for so bad. The Rose has great humor. Everything about this book delivered, and you can read it in 2 hours. It's an awesome book, and I highly recommend it to anybody. Okay, the next question is new favorite author. I'm gonna give 2 answers here. So the real answer is Robert Jordan. The Wheel of Time is amazing. I can't believe it took so long to read it. I was scared to read The Wheel of Time for the longest time. I thought, I wasn't gonna like this series. Turns out I loved it. So yeah, that's my real answer. But Robert Jordan passed away 20 years ago almost now. So I'm going to give you somebody that's still living, still going to produce books, and that is M.L. Wong. I read my first M.L. Wong book this year, Blood Over Brighthaven. This book's amazing. I didn't love the end, but up until that end, it was a perfect book. And even with that end, it's still a great book. And the way she writes prose is also, really beautiful, just like N.K. Jemisin. It's a different style, but it's still beautiful in its own right. Her storytelling is really good. She writes really good characters. She writes some morally gray stuff, which is right up my alley. Yeah, I just Really enjoyed Blood Over Brighthaven, and I can't wait to read more of her books. And she's going to be publishing for a long, long time because every book she's published so far has been very well received. Okay, the next question is, what is your 2025 fictional crush? Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have one. I don't really crush on literary characters, but no judgment if you do. The next question is, what is your favorite character from 2025? I'm gonna give you three, but and I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. These are in order. So my first favorite character is Egwene Alvear from Wheel Time. Yeah, I think Egwene is just awesome. Just one of the best characters I've ever read. I love everything about her. I love her strength. Her eagerness to learn is just second to none. Her leadership, she's like a born leader almost. It's great. I love the way she talks. I just think the way she talks is like really unique and good. There's nothing about her that I did not think was like great. She has her flaws, but her flaws are not like something that make you hate her, but it makes her feel real and just works. And her story is just amazing. In my opinion, it's the best story in Wheel Time. Yeah, she's awesome. Oh, and her trauma, the trauma she goes through in this series is, again, it's second to none. No other character, like Rand, comes very, very close, but she goes through way more trauma. She becomes a Damani. She gets kidnapped by the White Cloak. She gets beat by the Wise One. She gets beat by the Aes Sedai. It goes on and on. Like, it doesn't end. She gets imprisoned by the White Tower. It's just, her trauma just goes on and on and on and on. Her husband gets killed. Second to none in the trauma. Like, she just goes through so much, and it's almost never ending, but she never, ever shows weakness from it. And she always gets strength from it. And I think that really resonates in the chapter Honey and the Tea, where she learns to turn pain into power. Warns to turn her pain into power. Yeah, just a really great character. Super brave too. Like, yeah, I'm a big Wayne fan, and when I found out that she is like one of the least like Wheel Time characters, I was pretty surprised because, again, there's really not much not to like there. Then my second favorite character would be Shalon Davar from Stormlight Archive. She's very Egwene coded, right? Like, she goes through a ton of trauma. You get most of it through flashbacks, though. Like, her childhood trauma is, again, super depressing, and the way she overcomes that trauma, she never loses strength from it. There are times she feels like giving up, but she doesn't, and she keeps fighting on. And she also has that eagerness to learn that Egwene does. And her friendship with Kaladin is perfect, and her mentor-student relationship with Jasna is perfect, and her relationship with Adeline is, again, perfect. And there's just so much good stuff there. And, again, also her strength right up there again. Plus, I just also love the way she talks. She just has a really good conversation voice. She feels the most authentic to me of the 3 main Stormlight Archive characters. So, yeah. Really, really enjoyed her as a character. And then my third favorite character would be Rand al'Thor, who is the Dragon Reborn, the main character of Wheel of Time. I think he is the best Chosen One character ever written in literature. You can go into movies and find some that are just as good. But in terms of literature, I've never read one that was better. Rand is awesome. It's a great character, and the trauma he goes through and the growth. He has really big growth from book 1 to book 15. Book 14, I should say, because he's not in the New Spring. There's gigantic growth as a character, because in the first 2 books, I was not a Rand fan. He was too whiny, way too whiny for me. I just kind of hated him. And then you see that growth, and as soon as he becomes not whiny, it's like, oh, it's such a perfect character. And the way he deals with the madness and his decision-making. And, some of this, again, he has flaws, just like a real person would. A perfect Chosen One character. So, yeah, those are the 3 that I would... those are the 3 that I would, that stand out to me the most in terms of favorite characters, with Egwene being number 1. Okay, the next question is, what is the book that made you cry in 2025? And I'm not ashamed to admit it, I can cry when I read. Last year there were a ton of books that made me cry. So far this year there has only really been one, maybe two. One of them is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. When Matthias dies at the end of this book after they won, so everything's already over. You expect just like happiness. All the main characters escaped unscathed, or at least they were still alive. Some of them were scathed, obviously. And I just didn't expect it. Matthias just dies after everything's over. It felt so unfair, and it was so sad, especially for Nicola. Yeah, just really, really bummed by that. It definitely made me tear up a little bit. So, Crooked Kingdom did that. Okay, next question. What is a book that made you happy in 2025? For me, that would be Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett, which is the third and final book in the Emily Wilde trilogy. Yeah, the way this book ends is just super, super happy, super upbeat. There is some, trauma in this book, but not really that much. And the fairy world that you get to see is like super colorful and animated. And, Emily and Wendell just make me happy. And so does, some of the side characters do too, like Poe. This really joyful book for me. I really loved reading this one. I thought it was a perfect end to the series. Yeah, definitely the book that made me the happiest so far in 2025. Next question. What is the best cover that you have bought or read in 2025? So I'm just going to go with covers that have books I actually own, because I've read some books on Kindle. But of the ones I own, my favorite cover, again, would be Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. I just love the shading of blue. I love how these books look like encyclopedias. There's no like dust jacket on them. You just got sort of the hard cover. They feel really nice to open. Just the blue and the pink. I think this cover is just perfect. Yeah, really good cover. Really enjoy that one. Next one I would like to point out is The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. Again, it's just the blue and the black, the sword, the antlers, sort of black side right here with the giant sword. The back is blue too. Like, everything about this cover is just awesome. You got the crown. Really love the way this cover looks. Just a great, great cover. And then finally, we're going to go with a cover that's very 90s/80s coded. That would be The Way of Kings. I just love the way this cover looks right here. You got the two soldiers standing on opposite mountains, pointing their weapons at each other. You got sort of the cloaks, the sun setting. Just very, very 90s, 80s coded, and I love the way that really all the Stormlight covers look, but this one's my favorite of the 5. Okay, and that is the mid-year Freakout tag for 2025. Like I said, I've had a blast reading this year, and this was really fun to just kind of look back on some of the books I've read in the first half of 2025, because there's been a lot of great ones. Let me know what you guys think. What are some of the best books you've read this year? And what are some of the books that made you happiest, or made you cry, or sequel-wise, or what are you looking forward to? Let me know in the comments.